So Raw's big angle for September the 7th was that Cedric Alexander turned heel and joined the Hurt Business. So this is obviously there's pros and cons to this. It's mostly pros, but it's a good thing. I think there's some negatives to it, but I think it's mostly a good idea. So Cedric Alexander was hired in WWE in like 2016, 2017 during the Cruiserweight Classic. He was he was a standout in the Cruiserweight Classic. He never, I mean, when during the days of the Cruiserweight division being on Raw, he never really got his footing. Nobody did, if we're being honest. Because when the Cruiserweight division was on Raw, they were absolutely dying. It was not good. TJP was the champion. And this was back when, and look, whenever my ego gets a little too big about, being super smart and all that type of stuff, I have to remember that I used to cape for TJP. That I used to be like, oh man, y'all too hard on TJP. He's actually all right. And it took me like, I don't know, maybe about a year before I was along with everybody else. Like, damn, this dude is like stale crackers. He's like, he's awful. He's stale fucking crackers. Like, god damn, he has like no personality whatsoever. So it took me a while to turn on TJP, but whenever I'm too high on something on my own, my own arrogance, my own big brain ideas, gotta remember, you cape for TJP. You've been wrong before, so I always keep that in the back of my mind. Oh, anyway, Cedric Alexander was during that time, and he never really got his footing because nobody did. And then 205 Live was born. And they were given a lot more time. They were given a lot more space. He was able to actually grow. And he was, again, a standout on 205 Live. And he had this incredible streak of matches on 205 Live. This incredible run as a Cruiserweight champion. It was all done with, the people who wanted to watch that stuff, they watched it and they loved it. And they thought it was some of the best shit WWE was producing at the time. And after his epic run, which included great matches with like Austin Aries, great matches with like Mustafa Ali, he was gifted with being brought to Raw, where he once again sort of hit the skids. He was pushed for a little bit. He was one of the Heyman projects. Then Heyman gave up on him, or Vince McMahon gave up on him, depending on who you believe. And he just kind of floundered. And then the team with Ricochet, it had potential. The team with Ricochet had potential. They never really did anything with it because you got two guys, neither one of them can talk. Neither one of them had a personality. They were both kind of blank slates. So you had to do something. And then, the blessing came when MVP was signed, and, all of a sudden, MVP is trying to energize all the black talent in the WWE. And he was able to do that by, started planting these seeds with Cedric Alexander. And these seeds bear some type of fruit on September the 7th. And Cedric Alexander turned heel, beat up Ricochet and Apollo Crews. And then he cut a promo. And his promo was actually good. He said that he didn't want to be a tag team partner. It's hard to be a tag team partner with somebody who calls himself the one and only. Basically, Ricochet is selfish. He's all about himself. Even though they really didn't even get anywhere as far as the tag team is concerned, that's a good point. He said he saw the money. He wanted to be, his money was getting low. He wasn't making the cash because he wasn't really working Raw or anything like that. I mean, he didn't say this, but the implication was there that, the Hurt Business is walking around in suits. They got championships and they look like big money players. And here he is hanging out with the dorks, like Mustafa Ali, who's always on main event. And but then he talked about Apollo Crews. And he says, like, why am I putting my body on the line to help protect your championship? Like, why am I helping you get more opportunities when I'm not getting any? So it all made sense. It all made sense. It was perfect, and it was a good move. It was a solid move. Cedric Alexander needed something. He needed something, and now with MVP, he's got it. Now he can feud with Ricochet. He can feud with Apollo Crews. And yes, it's WWE breaking up yet another tag team. They breaking up like 8 tag teams in 2 weeks. But Ricochet and Cedric Alexander barely was a team. But now maybe you get Mustafa Ali back on Raw because now you've taken away one of the baby faces. Then they had the 8-man tag. So the 8-man tag was the Viking Raiders, which I don't know why the Viking Raiders were involved, with Apollo Crews and Ricochet versus the Hurt Business, which is 4 men now. And during this match, one of the Viking Raiders was injured. And then the finish got botched because Ricochet kicked out of the Michinoku driver, and the ref counted 3. The ref rung the bell anyway, and it was a janky mess. But this has potential. You know, I'm not going to go too far and say, oh, this is going to be great. Now, Cedric Alexander has all of this momentum and everything because they did plant one seed. That Shelton Benjamin thinks that Cedric Alexander is faking. And they planted that seed right after the initial heel turn. Like right after the initial heel turn, Shelton Benjamin put his arm around him and said, like, you're welcome, but I'm watching you. And if I find out that this is not real, I'm going to be the one that's going to show you why they call us the Hurt Business. So they leaving the door open to the fans thinking that it's a ruse, you know, that maybe Cedric Alexander's going to try to tear them down from the inside, you know, and maybe is that what we're going to do here? We're going to have Cedric Alexander being a spy for the anti-Hurt Business or whatever. I mean, it's possible. It's always possible. I don't think they would book that kind of that far ahead though. I think that was just kind of just to plant the seed, a little bit of doubt in our heads, the audience, or to maybe they're going to try to turn Shelton back out of it, you know, because MVP seems to really like Cedric Alexander, and he's kind of taking Cedric under his wing. Like that's kind of going to be his mentee, his young boy, his young lion, you know. And if that's going to cause a rift between Shelton and MVP, this might be a really decent, really good story. So the potential is there. You know, you have combustible elements, you know, with Shelton Benjamin kind of keeping his eye on Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander being the new guy, he's got to prove himself. MVP is, you know, high on his own supply because he was able to talk Cedric Alexander into joining the Hurt Business. You know, you got Lashley, who is the Dominator, the Killer. He's the U.S. champion. I mean, we got it all, baby. So now we can start beating up people. I'm all right. I'm okay with this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.